everything, which would sit in the Powerbar section. Which would be part of your Lifebar set. So I don't need an individual background. Also, this was always a default animation. Apparently, you can have 2 background images for your portrait. This is the only item you cannot interchange for animation, supposedly, or Mugen does not support animations for your portrait. Portrait of 9000 is the default portrait. I decided to use the big portrait, which was 9000,1, and I did that because I wanted to have a custom portrait look without using a custom portrait. And I had it scaled down to 0.5, but even 0.5 was too large, so I'm going to scale it down to 0.3 and see if that looks better. For player 2, you do the exact same thing, and remember, when you're dealing with player 2 or player 4, facing should always be -1. Your simultaneous face is exactly how you did your singles face, except for player 3 has an additional parameter, which are these KO animations. I haven't tested using KO animations in the simultaneous face, and I think it is a default animation instead of a default sprite. Anyway, these are supposed to be like X's or a black square that would appear over the face of your partner if they get knocked out. Spacing, which is another parameter that player 1 and player 3 do not have. This spacing thing is relative to the position of player 1, or if this is player 4, this would be relative to the position of player 2. So this is like an offset from whatever player 1 or 2's position happens to be. And this offset is an offset from player 3's master position, which is up here. Turn's face has the same exact format, except for instead of using player 3, they use player 1 teammate instead. You can copy and paste this in here and from the simultaneous facing and turn around and just put player 1 teammate wherever player 3 was, or do the same thing with player 4 and player 2's teammate. Also, they have the same additional parameters of KO animation and spacing. However, I've tried using the KO animation down here and it didn't work. As you can see, I did have an action number, so I tried to do it and it didn't fare too well. You should be able to see it somewhere. Oh, yeah, this says background. That's not what that animation originally was. I don't know. I might have actually screwed it up. It might work for you. After you've done that, just start working on your names. Names has the font, an individual background. I've never seen a Screenpack use an individual background for the name. The master position and the spacing, which I believe in this case is letter spacing. Then you have your simultaneous and turn names. Mind you, turn names is just exactly the same as your single names. Your simultaneous names is similar to them, except for you have to position P3 and P4. Once you do that, it's time to work on your time. You have the master position, which affects your clock and your number sprite. Then you have the background sprite, which would be where you would put your clock. In this case, it's actually going to be an animation for me because I have two clock images. This one and this one. And so you would use a sprite if you only had one image, or make an animation action number if you have two images. And then you have your scale, which scales the size of your clock. Be mindful, just because you have a scale of 1 to 1 and you think it will look exactly like it does in Fighter Factory, it may not. For some reason I've had problems scaling clocks, so I just want to warn you that you might need to set it to 0.5 and 0.5. The background offset offsets the background or your clock. The counter offset is the offset for the numbers, and this is where you put the counter font at. So an offset for the numbers means you could have the clock here, but the numbers could be down here, over here, over here, over there. The frames count is you have for every minute or second, every second in Mugen is 60 frames or 60 game ticks. You can change this number to 120, and you should have a game that takes longer to complete. This combo stuff, I'll have to show you in the next tutorial because I did not create combo images and animations and stuff when I created the rounds images, so I got to go back and do that. And let me do your win icons in the next tutorial, and I'll talk about the stuff that's down here. After that, I'll do a tutorial on fight effects, how to change the default fight effects, and I'll do one on fonts. Since these tutorials are out of order, you're going to see a tutorial on fonts before you see the tutorial on the flight definition file. This you don't need to change, just to let you know. And that's pretty much it. Out of stuff you don't need to change. Alright, I'll be back with another tutorial shortly, as long as I don't have any more software problems.